Hi friends! I recently followed a tutorial on making a self-binding baby blanket from Missouri Star Quilt Company on YouTube. It was very easy and quick, so I made my own little video just to show you all how I did it, and I made some changes. So check out this video. Okay, so here I have my top piece laid out on top of my batting. Now my top is this luxe plaid flannel from Joann. It's a little bit more costly than their regular cotton flannel, which is called Snuggle. This one's called Luxe. It's much nicer. It has a rayon cotton blend, and I really love the feel of it. It's nice and silky and smooth. And I've laid it out on with my batting. Now, instead of typical poly batting that some people use, also some people use a cotton batting that's thin and it's more expensive. I like to use just a plain fleece, like the fleece that you use to make those no-sew tie blankets. Now this one is just a plain white, and it's the Blizzard fleece from Joann Fabrics, and it's nice thin, but it's sturdy and it's warm. So 4 reasons why I like to use the polyester fleece for my batting is: number one, it's a little bit cheaper, and a lot of times you can get it a really good sale during the holidays. Number two, it is warm and it's a tiny bit heavier, like it gives it a weight to your blanket, and a lot of babies really like those little bit heavier blankets. Number three, when you wash it a whole lot, when you have a baby, you tend to wash their blankets a lot. The inside of the batting will not get bunched up like those polyester ones that in those puffier, cheaper blankets. And then number four, it's 100% polyester, so it's not going to shrink. You don't really need to pre-shrink it. You could wash it just to get the smell and the chemicals out of it, which I recommend doing that. Okay, so I cut my batting, the fleece, a tiny bit larger than the top piece. My top plaid is cut at 36 by 36, and my batting is about 38 by 38. So I have it all pinned nice and straight. And since I'm using this plaid, I'm just going to follow the lines, basically. I did divide up the plaid into 3 sections. Okay, so the measurement is 36 by 36. Divide by 3, you get 12. So I'm going to be doing 12-inch blocks, stitching it in 12-inch blocks. And I'm following the lines of the plaid. It was very simple to do this way. Okay, so it's easier if you start in the center of your blanket and stitch to the outside edges. Do all the inside lines first, and then go around the outside, stitch it down very close to the edge of the flannel, about 1/4 inch from the edge. And then I just laid it all flat and trimmed off the excess of the fleece. I trimmed it right to the edge of the flannel using my yardstick and a rotary cutter. Okay, so with all the edges cleaned up and trimmed, you're going to find the centers of each side by putting a pin right there. That's my center. But first you fold it, matching up your corners, and just fold it right in half. That's how you find your center. And you're going to find the center on all 4 sides and put a pin there. Okay, now I'm going to be pinning my backing to the front with the right sides together. Now my backing is the gray fabric. That is called Soft and Comfy, and it has these little embossed elephants on it. It's so cute. That's also from Joann's. Okay, so you're going to be finding the centers on the larger piece of fabric also, pinning together at the centers, and then you're going to be stitching it along, starting at the center, going towards the outside edge, and you're going to stop about a half an inch from the corner of the flannel. And then it's going to leave these little ears. And it feels weird at first, but trust me, it works. It's so cool how it works. Now, here I'm showing you, I have all my edges stitched, and you have to leave a hole for turning. But before you do that, you need to take care of those little ears. And the video from Missouri Quilt Star showed how to do it, and she made it look so simple. Now, mine didn't match up perfectly like hers did, so I had like a little bit of trouble figuring out if it was gonna work properly. Here you can see me struggling with it, how it's not matching up, and it's just really unnerving me, but I figure it out and I make it work eventually. So the trick is here you're supposed to line up these edges perfectly and have it folded right at the corner, and then have like a 45-degree angle on the other edge, and I'm just struggling to try to get it to lay flat because it's that soft and comfy stuff. It's very similar to minky, where it can be a little difficult to work with. So I gave up on that side and flipped it over and decided to do it this way. And it worked a lot better for me. So you just lay out this edge, and I'm using my grid on my cutting mat to help me. Lining up the bottom with one of the lines, and then I'm going to get a straight edge. The corner of my ruler is going to act as my 90-degree angle. It's going to help me find the stitching line that I need to make. So just laying it out as straight as possible, and finding right there is where I ended the stitch underneath. I'm going to use this corner because it's a 90-degree angle, line it up on that edge and match the other edge to where the stitching stops right there. I'm going to be drawing a line right at the edge of that ruler. That's going to be the stitching line. Now I'm using this, it's a quilting chalk marker. It's by Clover. I really love this little thing. I use it all the time. Okay, now I'm just going to put a couple pins in it to keep it in place, and then take it to the sewing machine and stitch across there. And so then this happened. I was trying just to do a stretch stitch on my sewing machine, and it was getting all pulled and puckered. Very frustrating. Checking my settings here. So after about 5 times, I gave up and decided just to go buy this here walking foot from Joann's, and it was about $20. This is a Singer walking foot, and it's compatible with my brother's sewing machine. Works great. I love it, and I highly recommend you get one of these because it really helps the 2 layers of fabric move together and to not bunch up, and I didn't skip any stitches after using this one. And I just like to add that I was using a stretch needle. This one is size 90-14. Okay, so here I'm going to show you again how it's supposed to look when the fabric actually lays nice. I'm matching up those two sides with it folded right at that corner, making a 45-degree angle using a corner of the ruler, matching that up on that side, butting it up against the seam, and I'm going to use my chalk and draw a line. Okay, and then I'm going to pin it together so it will stay right where I want it when I'm taking it to the sewing machine. I'm going to stitch right across that corner. Here it is, stitched across it, and make sure to back stitch on each end. And now I'm going to cut it off with my rotary cutter, but I'm going to use my straight edge to protect it. Make sure I don't cut it wrong, because there is like a thick seam that you have to cut over, so be careful. Alright, so I've turned out my blanket to the right side, and I've laid it all nice and flat, matching the corners, and I'm going to be doing a stitch in the ditch right there through all the layers of the fabric, and I'm going to go down each corner and do a back stitch, and so that way it will attach all the layers of the blanket together nicely, and you can kind of see where the inside is under there, and that will be okay. I'm just going to be stitching all that down. It's going to lay flat and it's going to be nice. Okay, here I am stitching in the ditch. I love this method. It hides it on the front side. You will see it on the back, but it'll look really nice. And here's the back side. I just love how it turned out. It's so nice and flat, and it reminds me of like the corners of a picture frame. I just love it. I also hand stitched the opening closed, and you can't really see it here, it's hidden. And I just love how this turned out. Now I also found this free pattern online from Sweet Briar Sisters. These are called Endearing Elephants, and it's a free pattern, and I made it to match my blanket with the same fabrics. I'm just so happy with this little project, and I know you will enjoy making it too. Very simple to do. So let me know in the comments down below what you think if you try this project out. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.